Hi guys, it's Lynn here. I hope everyone is having a brilliant day. Now this is part 2 of my cacti and succulent plant outdoor update. I've done part 1 of the polytunnel and I'm going to be putting these two videos on together. So if you haven't seen this is the cacti and succulent plants in the polytunnel. This is where we house the majority of our cacti plants and succulent plants in here. So links up above to that video. I'm going to be putting that one on at the same time as this one. So do check that out if you haven't seen it already. And this is our yard and little greenhouses update. And the reason why I've done it in 2 parts is we have so many plants that if we did it in one video, it'd be over an hour and no one's got the time to watch that. So this is the part 2 of our yard plants and also the 2 little greenhouses that we've got. Now we've got these 2 little greenhouses because we've had the wettest summer in a long time here in Ireland. And because it's just been so wet, we've had to put a lot of the plants that we normally have out in the yard, including the cacti, the tall cereus cacti, into these polytunnels. Sorry, these little greenhouses, I should say. So that's why we have them here. So I'm going to show you what we've got inside there. Now with the yard, I'm going to start off here. We normally have a lot more of the cacti and succulents out. We would normally have the tall ones all here. Those of you who've been following me for a while know that I had a lot of the cereus cacti all outside. But as I say, we've had to bring them in. We've left the ones outside that can take plenty of rain, such as the Brasilio Puncher Basiliaris and the Pilocereus here. There's a little bit of a roof under the house here that catches the majority of a lot of the rain. So these ones are under the roof there, so they're sort of protected. So they're doing well, and they can take plenty of rain at this time of year. And we have a mixture in our little yard. We only have a little yard. We have got plans, me and Hans, my wonderful fiancé, we do want to move on to obviously bigger premises. So we've got somewhere we can have a real greenhouse with either glass or polycarbonate that can house the majority of our collection. So that's on our wish list. We're putting that out there to the law of attraction. But until then, we've got a little our polytunnels here, and they do well for the plants. And we have a lovely little front garden that we have some lovely garden plants in. So I'm going to be doing an update on the front garden with all our garden plants in the next few days. So do stay tuned for that, guys. But here we have a lot of the some garden plants that we've been propagating here in pots that we have in our yard. Our yard is south facing, so it gets plenty of sun when we do get sun. And I'm going to start off probably with the cacti first, obviously. Now here we have a few hanging baskets. We have the hanging basket hooks here on the wall of a selection of different types of cacti, and we have a big hanging basket stand there as well, which I'm going to go to in a minute. But we have some Ripsalis cacti here that we have on the wall. Excuse this ugly brown stain, guys. This is actually coming from one of the nails. This was here when we moved in and we can't paint the walls, so it looks pretty horrible. But you know, it's not disgusting as such what it is, it's just how it is. We can't paint the walls, but ignore that. Just focus on the beautiful Ripsalis here. This one is we have a few different types of Ripsalis in our collection. Not quite sure of the exact variety of this one, but this has amazing sort of lovely long stems on it, and it has beautiful little white flowers in the winter time with little berries as well. It's absolutely gorgeous. And here we have another one. This is Ripsalis alborealata, and this is one of our sort of fairly new additions that we got a few months ago from Dublin at the Paraskort Centre. There's a lovely sort of garden shop there that we got this from, and that's loads of new growth on this. It's doing really, really well. Absolutely happy here, beautiful. And I think this looks like it possibly could be the beginnings of some flowers. As you can see, a little bit of hairy buds coming from this here, so that's going to be buds, I think. Pretty happy about that. We have a mixture of a few garden plants here and agaves, and here we have one of the outdoor bromeliads as well, which is doing well there, growing very happily. Our agaves there possibly would need to be repotted probably next year, but they seem happy there. When we get sun, they get plenty of sun in this corner. This whole yard here is south facing, so the polytunnels and greenhouses get loads of sun when we get it. But they do seem to be doing very well anyway. Now we have a few different oaks in our collection. This is the English oak, and that's an oak I got from the local park when I visited my family in Birmingham. And that's a traditional English oak with its typical leaves. And this one here is a gorgeous, this actually looks more like holly, but believe it or not, this is actually an oak. This was actually from seed that was gifted from us from Olga, from Olga's Dreamland, so Olga's Greenland now. And gorgeous to see. Very different in appearance to the leaf as the one from the English oak. Very gorgeous. So thank you, Olga. If you're watching this video, look at how well that the seeds that you gave us from Greece are growing. These are from Greece, so this is Greek oak. And now these oaks here, there's a mixture. We've got some from Berlin in Germany and some from here in Ireland, in County Killarney. And my wonderful friend Shane Walsh gave us some oaks here from Killarney National Park, and they are growing very, very well as well. So Shane, if you're watching this, thank you so much. They're doing very well. So quite a mixture. And these are ones from Berlin. You can see the difference in the leaves. I mean, this one here is like very sort of wide and very different shaped leaves. As you can see, this is more that this is the Irish oak, and this is more the English oak. And here again, this is Irish oak, and that is Greek oak and German oak. A lot of different types of oaks. And then we have dragon fruit cacti, commonly known as they're Hylocereus cacti, commonly known as dragon fruit. These are both ones that I've grown. This one I've actually grown myself from seed, grown very well, lots of new growth. I do need to repot this big guy here, so stay tuned for a future repotting video when I repot this guy. This one here also need to be probably repotted into some fresh soil more so than a bigger pot. And this was actually gifted to me by my friend Susan when I lived in Waterford in the southeast of Ireland. And she grew this herself from seed, from an actual fruit I think she got from the local supermarket, Lidl. She just threw some seeds on the soil and it just took, and look at it now, it's gorgeous. So I've looking after it for her, and I'm going to be repotting this too into fresh soil possibly before the winter kicks in, probably September. So stay tuned for some repotting Hylocereus dragon fruit cacti videos coming soon. And here I have my epiphyllums, and these are doing really well. I have made a video on the seed pod propagation success, and as you can see, 2 big seed pods there. This is my Epiphyllum Mrs. G Boheme, and this was a cutting that was also gifted to me from Shane Walsh, so thank you, Shane. And I cross-pollinated these, I should say, together, and wonderful seed pods forming there, so very happy about that. And lots of seed pods on a lot of the plants that I've cross-pollinated myself with a little brush. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to pollinate your cactus plant flowers, then I have made quite a few videos on how to pollinate them. Do check the videos out, guys. Links up above to the playlist on the videos I've made on how to pollinate your cactus flowers. It depends on the many different types of cacti you have. And here, more epiphyllum, growing very well, lots of new growth here. This is actually an apple tree that I've grown myself from seed many years ago now, probably about 11 years ago, when I was living on the west coast of Ireland in a town called Sligo. This is from seed from an apple, from the little apple tree that was growing down the bottom of my garden, and I actually ate the apple, planted the seed, and this is the result. So it's very, very special to me. And a mixture of everything here, a punchers, and monkey puzzle trees there. These are the 4 that I've kept myself. Some of the monkey puzzles I did give to friends and sold some. These are what I have grown myself from seed, and the seed was from a beautiful nature place in County Carlow here in Ireland. And if you want to know how to grow the monkey puzzle tree from seed, or you want to know where these gorgeous little monkey puzzles have come from, do check that video out also. Links up above. They're doing very well. This, by the way, is sort of, I'm not quite sure what it is, but the plant itself is very healthy, so I'm going to prune that back. They seem to be a bit prone to this. I think I had this overwintering in the polytunnel, and I brought it out in the springtime a few months ago, and I think it got scorched. A bit of sun went on to that and it turned it brown. But other than that, lots of new growth, as you can see there. And a mixture of lots and lots of different types of garden plants. Now, these are mostly sort of Hansi's babies. He's very, very good on outdoor gardening. Outdoor gardening is more Hansi's forte than mine. So do check out my wonderful fiancé Hansi's YouTube channel, Family of Cacti and Other Beauties, where he does a lot of tours on the outdoor plants. So he does a lot of updates on them, so do check that out. He's the best one with these, with the names. I'm more with the cacti and succulents. Now here we have some Kalanchoe Blossfeldianas. Now these have been blooming beautiful all over the summer, and as you can see now, they're coming to the end. There's some white ones still in flower. These are definitely on their way out, so I'm going to be cutting all these dead flowers off, and I've made a couple of videos on how to prune these plants, so I don't need to necessarily do that when I do that, but it will look better when it's all pruned back. But they've been flowering beautiful all through the summer. Here as well, this is epiphyllums, a few different types. Now this particular epiphyllum here is one that I got from Urban Plant Life last year, and Urban Plant Life is a fantastic garden centre in Dublin, and it is amazing. This particular plant is one that they've had a long time, and I rescued it, or we rescued it, and I haven't got round to repotting it yet. It's not particularly underpotted, but I do think a change of soil would do this plant good. And stay tuned for a video when I repot this. I'll probably do that in September as well. That's going to be get a bit of a burst in energy when I repot that. But loads of new growth. Sadly, slugs have been attacking it. Slugs are a bit of a pain here in Ireland because we get so much rain. It's impossible to keep them away. But other than that, this plant's very healthy, and I'm very happy with it. Now here's some of our punchers as well. We have a few of our punchers out in the yard. Those of you who see my update video on the polytunnel will see all our puncher collection. We have a lot, but these ones can take a lot of rain. Now this is called a puncher, a burger, I think it's Burgeriana. Burgeriana, yes, yeah, they can take a lot of rain. And this particular plant was gifted to me from my wonderful friend Anna when I lived in Sligo, and she gave me a plant of this. She got it from our local supermarket called Lidl at the time. This is going back many years now, about 11 years ago, and it was a huge plant, and I actually had to prune it back. And I took a load of cuttings, and I've gifted a load of cuttings away to friends over the years. But these are the two I've got left from the original plants. So thank you, Anna. This plant is actually doing very, very well, as you can see. And loads of new growth there. And it is a very hardy cactus. A puncher Burgeriana can pretty much survive outdoors if given a dry climate. Sadly here, where we live in Ireland, we're in Northern Ireland, which is particularly damp. It has to be overwintered indoors, even though we have a mild climate in the winter, because we just get so much rain. But if you can find a dry spot, they're pretty hardy punchers, this one included. Now here, this is Pachypodium. This is loads of new growth on here. We had to cut that back a couple of years ago because it had, sadly, spider mite at the top and it went all brown, but we cut it back, and this has got loads of lovely new growth. That's doing very well out here. And this one, guys, this particular plant, I'm not kidding you, is about 8 feet high, and this one is one that Hans has grown from seed. Whew. Back many years ago. Put it like this, it's as old as me. It's over 46 years old, and in fact it's younger than me, but almost as old. But it's amazing that he has grown it from seed. I think it's 47 years old now, and he's actually had to cut it back many times when he's moved house, when he lived in Sweden, many times to fit it into his apartment. But it would have been probably 5 times the size of this normally. But bear in mind, that is a high cactus, guys, and grown from seed. Now, this one here, this is Trichocereus Pacanoid times Scopolicolia. And again, very tall cactus. I've had that many years. It is sort of desperate for a repot. As you can see, the soil is full of moss. Very damp here. It doesn't necessarily need a bigger pot as such, but it does need the soil changing. May do that before the winter kicks in, not quite sure. But it's doing well otherwise. It keeps sending out lots of buds. As you can see, there's buds forming there, and they keep dropping off. But this cactus has had the most incredible flowers on it in the past for me. Sadly, as I say, that it's a lovely, beautiful sunny day today, but we have had terrible summer, so I don't think it's been sunny enough to produce buds this year. Hopefully next year, but you know, it's still late August. There's still chance now in September to flower. Now this is my sedum morganium, and believe it or not, this is a lovely little hanging basket here. I have this with all my outdoor sedums and other succulents here. These need a good pruning, so they're not looking the most attractive at the moment. But I'm very happy to say that this one here is in bud. Look at that, guys. It has a little bud. So, and there's another little flower forming there as well. And it's just the one, but this is the first time flowering for me. And apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently it's quite hard to get this particular plant. It's nicknamed the burro's tail to get to flowering cultivation. Very happy because, believe it or not, look at this, guys. It's quite a big plant. I've actually grown this from one single bead, the size of that. My friend gave me a bead that size, my friend from Dublin, that size. I planted it into a little tiny pot and it produced loads of little babies like that there. And over time, this is probably about 6-7 years ago now, it has formed this amazing hanging basket. I put it into a hanging basket a couple of years ago and it is doing so well. So I'm very, very happy to see it flowering for the first time. Succulents are so amazing how they propagate, I have to say. A few sedums here. A few different types. We have prunus here. These are little pine trees we've got growing from seed as well. This is iris as well in here. Now these are my aporophyllums and a porocactus, a mixture of 4 different types in here. We've got a porocactus malisoni, a porophyllum, and a porohelios cereus, and a porocactus, 4 different types. The reason why I have these out here in the yard is they can take plenty of rain during the summer. They're not going to rot. These are sort of more epiphytic. That's why I have a lot of the epiphytic cacti out here. They can take plenty of rain, no problem. Obviously, if it was torrential rain, I'd have to bring them into the polytunnel. But so far, so good. More Hylocereus dragon fruits. I've sown these from seed myself. These are my Camacerius. These are my carnivorous plants. These are ones that I've grown from seed. My Venus flytrap. Sadly, they're not doing too well. That's one bunch left there. The other 2, they sort of die back, and then in the winter they come back again. But that's what I've got at the moment. So they're still surviving. Very, very difficult to grow from seed. I have had success, as you can see there. But last year they sort of died back and then they come back in the winter again. They go back to a bulb. This one is one that I've bought. Doing okay. And this one here is amazing too. As you can see here. This is very, very good, I happen to say. Little flowers here as well. This one is called, let me just double check the name on that, Drosera. This is one of the sundews, and good to see the flowers there. And this is my, let's check the name of that here. It's a Sarracenia, but I'm not quite sure the variety of it. And sadly, slugs have also attacked this as well. But that's okay. That's doing okay there as well. Lots of new growth coming through the bottom. I need to prune the old growth back on that out here in the yard. Some more epiphyllums, and here we have more epiphyllum pegasus. They're doing well. Here I have my Slumbergera bucklei, the commonly known as the Christmas cacti here, which is a load of cuttings that have rooted very well, all in here, do very well here outside for the summer. Some more epiphyllum here, the German Empress. And here I'm very happy to say I have my rat's tail cacti, as they call them, or golden rat's tail, and sometimes goldfinger cacti. Chrysocactus winterii, often known as the Hildewintera cactus. Absolutely gorgeous, doing well out here. Again, these can take plenty of rain this time of year. And I'm happy to say there is buds. See if I can show you here around here. Yep, there's birds, yippee! This sometimes flowers for me, sort of in the September time, so that's good to see. So stay tuned for future video and when this is blooming beautiful. And I'm here, I love this plant so much. This is my Chrysocactus collidimonosis, and look, birds! This is an amazing plant because it's nicknamed the monkey's tail for obvious reasons, and it actually has real hair, guys. It is just gorgeous. Again, can take plenty of rain. At this time of year, and because we have a lot of wind here in Ireland as well, even though we have a lot of rain, it does dry out sort of a lot in between waterings, which is good. But buds as well, yippee! So happy to see the buds on this, so stay tuned for future video in this gorgeous hairy monkey cactus blooms absolutely beautiful. And here we have some more Ripsalis here. We have a few in the basket here. This one is Ripsalis casutha, which is doing very well here. It looks like a load of grass, but it is doing well. And then we have a few different types of Ripsalis here, and different varieties. This one is very compact, and this one has a lovely red glow to it as well. There's about 4 different types. A lot of them we haven't got the names for. This one is Ripsalis pitterii. This particular one, which is this one here, has a lovely red appearance to it. But this one, I'm not quite sure what this one is, but it's very compact. And this one has more thick stems, as you can see. But they're doing very well out here on the plant stand. Doing very good. They love the shade. A little bit more of a shady spot here, and plenty of rain in the summer. Now this is my Ripsalis paradoxa. Hasn't been doing too well. It has a lot of stems that have not been doing too well, so I've had to repropagate this plant. As you can see, these are all the propagated parts in here. Natural corking is normal for these plants, but sadly it has really took a bit of a bashing. I don't quite know why. It's recovering well though, as you can see. Lots of fresh stems there, and it is sending out new growth, which is good, so fingers crossed. And these have all been propagated and rooting well, and that's it there. And then I'm going to show you, I haven't covered this actually. These are some of more of our epiphyllums. This one is commonly known as the zigzag cactus for obvious reasons. It's zigzaggy. And also known as the rick-rack cactus. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's doing very well out here too. And this is our washing line, very handy for putting cacti on, hanging baskets. Now this is also Ripsalis crispata, and it has beautiful lovely leaves on this. Beautiful tiny white flowers all around. It's been flowering all through the summer, and now it's sending out little tiny fruit pods, as you can see there. So it's doing very well. Happy in the hanging baskets out here. Very happy. And we have some more Nepenthes, some more of the carnivorous plants there, doing well in a bit of a shady spot. Another one of our epiphyllum zigzaggy cacti, doing well there also. And that's pretty much it. Now we have some underneath. This is my Trichocereus grandiflorus red star that I've recently repotted, and a bit disappointed because it hasn't flowered this year for me. It flowers normally every single year, but I think a lot of it's to do with the bad summer that we've had. I've got it out here, so hopefully it could still rebloom. If not, there's always next year. It has sent out a load of new growth. I recently repotted it a couple of months ago, so that's all the happy new growth on this cactus here. So it's doing well, and possibly the energy is going more towards the root system than it probably is to producing flowers. Have here more a euphorbia here as well, and some more there. And this we have a Echinopsis, one of my old Echinopsis I've had for absolutely years, guys. As you can see, it's a very old plant. Got this out here to get some sun onto the table, and a mixture of a few different types of epiphytic cacti underneath the table, because they get a bit of shade under here, but still plenty of sunshine. A few different types, from Ripsalidopsis and to Slumbergera truncata, to another form of Ripsalis bachyfera there. And this one is my Slumbergera orange Brazil. I'm going to be repotting that in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for a video when I repot that as well. It's absolutely beautiful variety. It goes very red in sunshine, which it has done there, so I'm going to be putting that into a bigger pot, and that is a beauty. It has the most amazing orange flowers on this. And then here I'm going to show you the 2 little greenhouses we've got. Now we have here a mixture of our pelargoniums, and this is a selection of a few little pelargoniums we have here, some of our outdoor plants. We're hoping one day to move somewhere where we've got a garden, where a bigger garden, we can put a lot of our outdoor plants into the ground. It's going to be wonderful. But as I say, it's all about doing what you can do with what you've got and being appreciative of everything you have. Now look at this, guys. I'm in now into the larger of the second the large of the little greenhouses we've got here. As I say, we had to get these greenhouses because the weather's been so blinking wet here, and I know it looks a little bit cluttered with all the tall cereus cacti here, but Normally these serious cacti would be out in the yard. I mean, those of you who've been following me for a few years will see, even last year I had all these serious cacti all out in the yard. It was lovely how I had them displayed, but sadly because it's been so wet I've had to just push them all in together in under cover. That's the most important thing, is that the plants are okay. So it's not looking that nice, you know, they're all cluttered together, but the plants are okay, and that's the most important thing. They're protected from the rain, and thank goodness we've got this. This is great. Now here is some apunches that I've grown myself from seed. Different varieties there. Look at the size of them, guys. I've only been growing them now for just over a year. They're huge. And this one as well is one I've grown from seed. A lot of them I don't know the varieties of, because they were gifted to me from seed from friends from different parts of the world, mostly the States, and they didn't know what there was. They just found the seed pod, so it's exciting to see. This one is here, the orange basil. I showed you the cactus earlier. That is the seeds from that actual Schlumbergera orange basil. Little tiny seedlings, very exciting. That's Protea magnifica, little babies there. These are all seedlings from my own plants that are doing pretty good. These are epiphyllum seedlings as well, different varieties. This is also this is Carnegia gigantea, saguaro seedlings as well, mammillaria seedlings, different type of seedlings, Hylocereus cut in. Some more pelargoniums, a bit all over the place here because we just had to protect everything from the rain. It's been so wet this year. And these are actually rat's tail cacti, Cleistocactus collodimonsis that I showed you earlier, the really hairy one. This is actually seeds that I've sown myself. These are the seedlings. And a mixture of everything here. Some seedlings and some more apunches as well. Setiechinopsis, mirabalis. These ones are what we got earlier in the year as well. There's another one there, so it's very exciting to see them do so well. These are more seedlings, as you can see, growing very well there, and I've got a lot of seedlings to pot on. And these are all our serious cacti, a mixture of everything. And I'm happy to say I have one of my Trichocereus scopolicolas in bud at the top. Very happy to see, because they normally flower every year for me, and disappointed that the flowering's been bad on these this year, but happy to see a bud on this. So hopefully September this should have a lovely big bloom on it. Considering it has been a very wet summer, we've had lots of blooms on a lot of the other cacti, which has been great. So better late than never. And again, a tray there, more seedlings with the epiphyllums as well. We're sort of in the middle of doing everything. We've been so busy having to pot on. And that's a bit of a pelargonium in the middle of all this. We put everything in. We just had to push everything in because it's been so wet, guys. We just had to undercover, shelter, and that's the most important thing. As I say, as long as they're kept dry, cacti can take plenty of water during the active growing period, which is now sort of spring, summer and early fall, but they do need to dry out in between waterings. And because it's just been rain constantly here in Ireland, especially in Northern Ireland, we just had to get these under cover because, as you can see, it's been so blinking wet, guys. We've had to get them dried out somehow. But normally this would be a lot more aesthetically pleasing in appearance than what it looks now. Now this is our other little greenhouse that we've had to get because, again, loads of rain. We had to cover all the plants. A mixture of everything. Good to see buds here forming on this is my Cleistocactus summerpatanus. That normally has an amazing display of red flowers on it, but it has late flowering again, but there's buds forming, so very happy. Fingers crossed it will form buds. This is my euphorbia, the poinsettia plant as well, Euphorbia pulchima, poinsettia, so that's doing very well. People think you have to throw it away after Christmas, but no. And a mixture of everything here, and more begonias. And as I say, we've had to just put, as you can see, the soil is very wet. We've had to just put everything in here just to keep everything protected from the rain. That's been our biggest priority this year. Just put that. Not only has it been rainy, it's been windy as well. It's been terrible. We just had to keep everything under cover, so it's not looking the best. But you know, there's a way around everything, and we're putting that out to the law of attraction. We'll find our dream place where we can have our dream greenhouse and plenty of space for the plants. And it's certainly challenging, and I hope that you guys who don't have perfect conditions, you know, you don't live in a mansion or anything like that, I hope you can learn from from what I share in my videos and know that, you know, I do what I can do and share tips for growing. We're not in Arizona. I hope it helps you guys to grow these plants in any climate that you have. So guys, there you go. That's the yard and the polytunnel. The yard and the 2 greenhouses done. And say I've already done the polytunnel update, and I'm going to be doing a garden update. Hansi's forte is more the outdoor gardening, so stay tuned for a video when he does an update on that. But I'll try and do one as well in the coming days. But thank you so much for watching, and if you want to know a little bit more about how to grow cacti and succulents, do check out my website, desertplantsofAvalon.com, and hover your mouse over the growing tips. There's a drop down bar and it tells you lots of different sections on how you can grow these amazing plants. And as I say, if you haven't seen my video on the update on the polytunnel, this is where we house the majority of our cacti and succulents. We're so blessed to have a big yard where we can have the majority of our cacti and succulents out here. Do check out that video. As I say, links will already be up above and also down below to that. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus and succulent power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, bye.